Welcome back to Star Ocean Anamnesis. So today I've got another character guide for you, and it's about Arngrim. So let's go. Arngrim is an ace attacker that can heal himself while charging skills. His first talent, Dauntless Courage, increases the damage Dead End does by 100% while he's charge assaulting. Now this right here is why Arngrim is so amazing. Dead End is already one of the highest damaging skills in the game, and then its damage gets doubled while he's charge assaulting it, which allows him to do ridiculous amounts of damage. And then his second talent, Reckless, recovers 15% HP every 3 seconds while he's charging skills. Charging skills means tapping and holding down the skill button, and then eventually Arngrim will start recovering HP. So with this talent, he doesn't have to rely on any form of outside healing or lifesteal. He can just heal himself like that. Pretty simple. And then his third talent, Will of Loyalty, gives him a 95% chance of surviving a lethal attack at 30% HP or more, gives him anti-flinch of 10% HP or less, and reduces all enemies' defense by 30%. And this talent increases Arngrim's survivability dramatically. A 95-30 Guts is incredibly good, and the HP he can just heal up with his Reckless talent. And then the anti-flinch is not that good, but it does help if there's no defender in the party. And then defense minus 30%, that's just a nice bonus. And his last talent, Veteran Warrior, increases attack by 20% and HP by 15%. So his HP is sitting at a huge 18,000 and his attack is sitting at 3,300. Those are some of the highest values that we have in the game. And that is exactly why Arngrim is as good as he is. And then for his battle skills, we have Storm Edge first of all. Strike downward, then upward in rapid succession. Its power is determined by multiplying attack by 300%. It does 4 hits and it costs 21 AP. This attack is kinda slow. It does only cost 21 AP, but that's actually a lot for Arngrim, so this attack won't really see too much use. And then we have Dead End. Channel all your power into a mighty swing. Its power is determined by multiplying attack by 800%. It does 1 hit and it costs 48 AP. This is what sets Arngrim apart from everybody else, an 800 multiplier attack. It is kind of slow, and plus you have to charge assault it, so most of the time it's a very dangerous attack and you have to pick your opportunities carefully, but when it actually does hit somebody, you will see their health bar plummet. And then we have Spinning Back Knuckle. Pummel your foe with a flurry of gauntleted backhanded blows. Its power is determined by multiplying attack by 160%. It does 1 hit and it costs 14 AP. And this is also a very good attack. It comes out incredibly quickly. It only does 1 hit, so the animation doesn't even last that long. And it only costs 14 AP. So this is what you want to pair with Dead End. And then we have High Wind, a 2-part assault consisting of a downward swing followed by a cleaving attack. Its power is determined by multiplying attack by 300%. It does 5 hits and costs 21 AP. This is the exact same attack as Storm Edge, but it does 1 more hit, and it's just as useless as Storm Edge, so I don't recommend you run this. And lastly, his Rush, Final Blast. Enrobe your sword in flames and unleash a devastating skyward strike. Its power is determined by multiplying attack by 5,000%. It has a fire element, and as a post-rush buff, it increases critical hit chance by 100% for 10 seconds. This Rush has the highest multiplier in the game, and Arngrim also has the highest attack stat in the game, so when you pair those two together, this Rush can do absolutely insane amounts of damage, plus it has a free element on it, so usually you want this to be the last Rush in your chain. And then the guaranteed criticals post-Rush even further increase Arngrim's damage output, not by a lot unless you have some form of critical hit damage up. And now moving on to equipment, unfortunately for Arngrim, most of the greatswords are still in the gacha, but he does have a pretty decent event weapon. So the Striking Sword increases Dead End damage by 30%, increases his AP recovery speed by 30%, and Max Limit Broken, it increases single target damage by 10%. So the main reason why you would bring this is the extra Dead End damage, which will further increase his damage output, and the AP recovery speed does help a little bit because Arngrim's AP recovery on normals is actually kinda slow. But if you're one of the lucky few who managed to pick up the Beast Lord while it was still in the gacha, it imbues your attacks with light, reduces damage taken by 10%, and reduces AP cost by 10%. So the main reason why you bring this is because of the light imbuement, and there are a lot of light weak bosses in the game, so be sure to run this against them. And there's also the sword that was introduced alongside of him, the Bahamut, which imbues your attacks with lightning, gives you normal attack AP recovery plus 100%, and increases critical hit damage by 20%. So the main reason why you would run this is the lightning imbuement, but it does have a bit more utility in the AP recovery and critical hit damage if you can manage to get that. So overall, a very good sword for Arngrim. And as for accessories, there's only one that you can really run with him, the Christmas Reindeer, which gives him passive HP regen and reduces his AP costs. So the AP cost reduction actually allows him to use Dead End twice in a combo, which is really amazing. You could also run the Emerald Ring for the AP cost reduction because that's the main reason why you would run this. Bunny Hair Clip is not bad either, but if you're going to run Bunny Hair Clip, you need another form of AP cost reduction in the party. Now for his battle skill setup, first of all I recommend Storm Edge. You could also run High Wind, but it really doesn't matter because you're never going to use this anyway. Then for his second attack I recommend Spinning Back Knuckle, which you're going to use as a combo filler attack because of how quick it is and the low AP cost. And then lastly Dead End, of course, which that's your main finisher. So with this setup we can run a combo like this, a normal attack into Dead End, into Spinning Back Knuckle, into as many Dead Ends as you can fit. The only way you can use this combo is if you have 5% AP cost reduction at least and 105 AP, so you're gonna have to invest in Arngrim a little bit. But with this combo you can actually do a lot of damage. It is kind of slow, so you have to pick your opportunities carefully, but you could also put Spinning Back Knuckle first and then as many Dead Ends as you can fit, which is a little easier to hit, it's a little faster. Now as for a party, Arngrim actually plays really well with party members because he's got some very rare buffs. So first of all, I recommend a Cat Reina who can buff attack by 40% for the entire party, or 60% for every close range weapon ally. She also buffs AP on normals by 100% for every attacker, and she also nullifies the criticals that you take while charge assaulting. And secondly, I recommend a Youth Sophia who can buff damage for the entire party by 40%, buff single target damage for every long range ally by 15%, and also gives every long range ally a Guts of 90 and 30. And then lastly, I recommend a Dream Welch who can buff attack and in damage by 10% or 25% if the skill chain is at 3 or more. She also increases the damage enemies take by 30% when their HP is below 50%, and she can also heal pretty quickly. Arngrim and Cat Reina synergize together very well actually. Unfortunately, Cat Reina doesn't really play together with anybody else, very well at least. So that's why we have Youth Sophia and Dream Welch here, because both of them are kind of self-sustaining. So Youth Sophia also supports Dream Welch in various ways because of her long-range buffs, and then we have Dream Welch with her attack and in-damage buffs, as well as the increased damage enemies take, which is very rare. So overall, you should be able to do a lot of good damage with Arngrim as long as you can do your full combo. So as I've said before, Arngrim is the most powerful attacker damage-wise, and that mostly comes down to his Dead End skill with a incredibly high multiplier, especially if you charge assault it. Arngrim is also one of the very few attackers who not only has very high damage output, but he also has very good survivability with a 95-30 guts, he has heals, and he's got an anti-flinch as well. All of this amounts to him being very good in solo battles, especially because Dead End doesn't even have to be at a 300% cancel bonus. Usually you could just put it as the first skill in your chain, which means that you can just hit and run very easily. The only thing holding Arngrim back is the fact that elemental greatswords are a very rare commodity. Beast Lord is no longer available, and Bahamut is the only one in the gacha. So without those weapons, he does become a little less useful, but even without them, he is still hands down the best carry in the game, although he is kind of difficult to play, so he does take some practice. And that's it for my Arngrim guide. So, the Zard is coming out tomorrow, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what kind of change he is going to bring to the meta. Regardless, hope that was helpful, and I guess I will see you all next time. Peace!